I'm just sitting on the edge of this bed.
Welcome back to Nerds Day Out. It's been a while, I know. And we actually upgraded our setup. That's probably why it's been a while. Not huge, but we did upgrade, so.
Hopefully the sound quality comes out better for everybody now.
Hopefully. If not, let us know down in the comments. And hopefully we can fix it. Really quick, what we've been up to. I've been working. What have you been up to?
It's been crazy. But it's just been like a whole lot of work and trying to take care of myself. I got a sleep study done last weekend.
I'm gonna ask you about that. I'll ask you about it afterwards, though. But like work, planning, we got wedding and that cruise coming up, so it's been like crazy for us. And I like thinking about it now. I don't think we should have did both of those this year.
Nope, you shouldn't have. Probably would have been easier for you. Honestly, if I was in your shoes, I probably would have took the L on the $150 for deposit, and then the rest I could have been putting on the wedding. But it is what it is. I'm sure you guys will still like enjoy it. I guess just kind of look at it as honeymoon before the wedding.
That's what we're thinking about it as. Like, well, we're gonna hopefully by the point where we actually leave for the cruise, we'll have everything set in stone and just need to pay everything off. So that's what I'm looking at to have done by that point, and just to like go on this, catch our breath, and then come back and then hit it hard, pay everything off, and get it done. You know.
That makes sense.
I've been watching anime, watching movies, and not a whole lot of reading, if I gotta be honest.
Yeah, I've fallen down the Game of Thrones rabbit hole, trying to catch up before.
I saw you doing that.
What is it, April 16th?
Are you doing that on Plex?
I am.
Okay, yeah, so that is you. I was like, I want to start this, but somebody else is already watching it, so.
You can start it. I'm in season 6. If you ain't that far in, then you're not going to affect where I'm at.
Well, Amy's already been watching, so I got to at least catch up to where she is. But Supernatural just ended, so I doubt I'm going to get to Game of Thrones anytime soon.
The only thing that I will say is right about now, I need a shirt that says, "That's what I do. I drink and I know stuff."
I do that already.
Yes, I need a shirt that says that, though.
And you should be proud of me. I started reading manga.
Were you reading One Piece?
No, actually. I'm reading The Promised Neverland.
Oh, so you're past season 1 and you're still going in the manga?
Well, I actually haven't gotten past season 1 in the manga. I started reading the manga only purely because I couldn't take the cliffhangers anymore. I was just fed up with the cliffhangers. And season 2 is going to be maybe later this year. So, but season 2 is already confirmed. So, at least I have that to look forward to.
I still haven't finished season 1. Considering, like I said, diving headlong into Game of Thrones. And then they finally released season 2 on my block. And so there's that. And now there's new episodes of Sabrina.
Yep.
And,
there's that.
I did finish, what you call it, though?
What?
The thing you were talking about. The Order. I finished that.
That was actually pretty good. I ended up watching that within like a day or two. Sabrina just released. Supernatural just ended, so that's hitting Netflix next week. So I'm gonna binge watch the hell out of the.
I forgot they got the week
14.
after deal, don't they?
Yep. Which means Arrow, Legends of Tomorrow, Flash, which I'm already current on Flash.
Oh, what the heck, Sabrina?
And crap, what's the act? I hear I need to watch that before it's gone, before it's too late.
The act was
on Hulu.
Man, I'm not watching that.
Why?
Hulu. It's I know what it's about. It's about the girl who's basically she was like a horrible case of Munchausen. Like the mom kept her drugged up on so much stuff, and this, that, and the third. So it was like she was supposed to be like mentally handicapped and in a wheelchair and all this, that, and the third. And come to find out that that wasn't the case. The mom just kept her drugged, so she was constantly sick and this, that, and the third, and could barely function. And one day she killed her. She killed her mom.
All right, never mind. I don't think I want to watch that. That's a little depressing.
It's quite depressing. The whole story is quite depressing. But she comes out, like, she kills her mom, because the real story, she kills her mom, and she comes out, and she's like, I couldn't take it anymore, this, that, and the third. And, like, so it was this whole thing, like, everybody thought, like, she was supposed to have, like, autism or something like that. Like, she was supposed to, and it was like, what?
Yeah, no, I'll pass. Sorry, guys. You won't get a review on that from me. The other thing that I've started watching, that one time I got reincarnated as a slime. It was interesting. It's on Funimation. It's dubbed.
Somebody said that's top 5 animes of the season.
I wouldn't call it a top 5.
Of the season. I'm talking about, like, of winter animes that were released.
Well, maybe. I'll be honest. The winter animes have been, like, lacking for me. The 3 that I watched that I can honestly say that were good was the slime one. It drew me in at first, and then I kind of fell off on it, and it was kind of like, all right, when this is going to end? And it's only because he became OP, and it was just like, all right, so nobody can beat him, cool. And we're just going to keep moving.
OP, man.
Pretty much, dude. Like, it kind of bothers me when they, like, super, like, OP somebody. Like, there's no character growth at that point.
Right.
Promised Neverland. If you haven't watched it, I suggest watching it. It's really messed up, really dark. Which that was the manga I read, so I'll get into it. Hashtag spoiler alert coming up. And Rising Shield Hero. I'm at episode 13, so I'm current right now with where it is. And it's actually pretty good. And
would Angels of Death fall in that? I think Angels of Death started like right at the end of the summer.
Maybe. I don't know. That was really good too. But for like ongoing animes and things that I know are getting renewed, those are definitely my top 3 right now.
Well, I think people look at it like the ones that were released during that time period when they call them like that. So like not ones that are like getting another season or nothing like that. Which still waiting on the next season of My Hero.
Yeah. Also, and I'm continuously watching Black Clover. If you haven't caught up on that, I suggest you do. Hint, hint, wink, wink, bro. Over there, I'm talking about you.
Yeah, I think I gave up on that.
Nah, you should definitely watch it. It's definitely worth the watch.
Netflix is fired.
Why?
Cause my Sabrina says new episodes and it's not showing me new episodes.
Oh. I'm probably going to check it out on Fire Stick later. When me and Amy sit down. I don't know.
I was trying to see how many episodes it is.
Well, I'll check it out here. Honestly, that's pretty much what I've been doing is watching anime and for those who don't know, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice is out. If you haven't already, check it out. If you're a fan of Bloodborne in the Soul series, it's definitely more your style. If not, I suggest you borrow the game from one of your friends. Don't waste your money because you're going to be mad and you're going to go return it and you're going to be like, oh, this game needs an easy mode. And I'm going to look at you and I'm going to laugh at you.
Ha, there it is.
Your ha was like slowly timed with that.
Okay, so it's 9 episodes this season.
Okay. All right, so
I'm gonna be done with that in a day, bro. That's not even gonna. I'm gonna be depressed by Tuesday. I'm gonna start Sabrina tomorrow, and I'll be depressed by Monday morning.
You can do that. I have to wait on someone else to watch that with, so we'll probably do that Sunday, actually.
I mean, me and TC will watch it, but you know.
Yeah, but if I watch it at my pace, I'm gonna leave Amy behind.
Okay, same thing for TC. But yeah. Oh, I did go to a con though. That was like the only thing I did for myself. I went to South Carolina Comic Con
I do want to go to the Savannah one, although I don't think I have the money for it.
That's tomorrow.
Is it?
Yes.
I thought it was next week. Oh,
no,
well.
It's tomorrow. That's why I'm not going. I was going to go so I could get White Knight signed since the author is going to have a booth too and not just a VIP thing. But they were like, oh, no, none of the graders are scheduled to be here. And yes, he will have a booth. And I was just like, Savannah, it's like almost 3 hours. Do I really want to make that drive for a signature and then back? I mean, I did do it all the way to Charleston. But I got more than one signature, though. Like, I got Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo's signature. And I also got Sanford Greene's signature on a...
I wanted to go for the White Knight. And because John Shipp's going to be there, so I wanted to get my Jay Garrick signed.
I thought you already got your Jay Garrick signed.
No. And I wanted him to sign my Flash number 1, but...
Well,
But
the next
then
one is
again...
at Comic-Con, and I don't know if I'm going to go to that one either.
Well, he charges for signatures. It's like $50, so...
Yeah, most people charge, like, out the butt to sign pops now. Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo are actually extremely reasonable. Theirs were $15 a piece.
Like, I wanted to get,
And Sanford Greene signed mine for free.
The guy, Eobard Thawne, not... And the sad thing is I know his name is just gone. Harrison Wells, the guy that plays Harrison Wells on Flash, I wanted him to sign my Flash number 1 too. I've been trying to find reason to get like the major cast members to sign my Flash number 1, but the problem is like they are like hard to catch up with. John Shipp doesn't go to like very many cons. He goes to them, but he doesn't go to that many in like the southeast area. He went to Dragon Con last year, and then he's going to be in Savannah tomorrow. So it'll probably be like another year before I get another opportunity to get him to sign it.
I mean, he might come back to Dragon Con.
No. Not last year. Year before that. My bad.
No, Caitlin Snow was at Dragon Con last year.
Yeah. But I didn't see her there last year.
Well, I didn't see a lot of people there.
Which, funny story, she's from Augusta, I think. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, The chick who plays Caitlin Snow, she's from Augusta.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Alright, but I think we rambled on enough. Yeah, we 13 minutes in. We can actually talk about a bit of comics and whatnot. Do you want to save Bitterroot for like a group discussion?
We can discuss Bitterroot if you want to.
Did you read anything else
other than Bitterroot?
Yeah.
I'm still finishing up Black Panther and the Crew whenever I got time to sit down and read. So there's that. And I've been reading Aliens.
Okay. And I'm going to make a post in the podcast group later. I'm going to pick a random comic that's finished, I guess. You did the last one of the month, so I figure I'll find one that's decent.
Wicked and Divine is finished, which I got on my list to start. Wicked and Divine.
Okay.
I keep hearing a lot about it, but I haven't read it.
I mean, I'll take a look at it. Just make sure you send that to me.
I've got a lot of random on my list that I've been meaning to start. Like, I've also been meaning to start Scooby-Doo Apocalypse because...
I've been meaning to start that. I've been meaning to start Power Rangers. I've been meaning to start the...
Only the Shattered Grid. I could care less about the rest of the Power Ranger stuff. I really only want to read Shattered Grid.
Yeah, I hear that's really good. I've been meaning to go back to Wonder Friends or... No, not Wonder Friends.
And Betty 666 is like 3 issues in now.
And I want to start reading the newer Archie comics, but...
Archie Horror. That's the only thing I'm about to jump on. Archie Horror, the Archie Horror line.
Yeah.
Which is like The Hunger and the Zombie Joint and Betty 666, which essentially... not Betty, Blossom 666. So essentially the Blossom girl and her brother are like the Antichrist.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So whoever's behind like Archie Horror is like, oh yeah, I don't know what you thought Archie was, but guess what? 2019, bitch, Archie ain't like that no more.
Yeah, everything's gone dark and edgy now. So I mean, kudos for them. But I've been dark and edgy. Haha. But what the heck was I about to say? I don't remember. I lost my train.
I guess you were gonna do a comment review.
Oh, side note. When I got home, guess who tried to tempt me with their Instagram live?
With their Instagram live?
Yeah, they went live on Instagram.
Who? Invicta. Oh. You know, I completely gave up on that Joker Venom. I was like, that's $700, dude. I ain't got the money for that. And then when it goes on sale for like $50, I'm still like, that's another $300. Like,
yeah.
As much as I want it, I just let that joint go. Maybe if I catch it on like a stupid sale.
You might be able to catch it on eBay later. I saw it and was like, I could open this and they're going to tempt me to buy something and then I'm going to regret it later. Because there's so... With how much we're doing right now, I just can't reason myself to be selfish like that. But other than that, like... I actually came up with a couple memes that I can't use anymore. 2 guys, 1 mic, which I might still use that title.
Ew.
Why not? It's such a great meme.
No.
Such a great meme. I did want to get a more expensive mic though. One of the things that I did see was the ASMR feature on some mics. And I really wanted that, but the one I want, a friend of mine has, it's like $100, and I could have reasoned with myself to get it, but I'll probably just get it later. Which, from what I've experienced with it, it's hit or miss. Some people like the feature, some people don't. But I guess I'll do my comic review real quick. Well, manga review. The Promised Neverland. And I gotta admit, so far it's panel by panel for the anime. And I'm like 2 chapters in. I've been meaning to sit down and read it, but it got kind of crazy this week. Reading, catching up with Bitterroot. And getting to... Because I didn't catch up with that until Wednesday night, if I'm being honest. When we were supposed to record the first time. But if you haven't watched it, if you haven't read it, I'm going to highly recommend this. You'll hear me talk about it till I finish reading this manga, pretty much. It's so great. The premise is that basically the cast and the scene is basically a orphanage surrounded by forests that's pretty much fenced in or walled in, and there's a gate that they can go in and out of, but they don't. You're not allowed to go there. The only time they go there is when they're being adopted. Basically, babies come in, and once they hit 12 years...
Adopted. That was my Dr. Evil impersonation.
Right.
You can't hear the air quotes. Adopted.
Right. Basically, once they hit 12 years old, that's the cap, and they get adopted. Age 6 is the minimum, and so far where I'm at, they figured that out. But really, they're just cattle. They're being grown and taught, I guess you'd say, to be food. And in the anime, I figured this out, but basically it's their brain that they're after. That's the valuable part of the human body that they like. Like, the higher their scores, the longer they get to stay. The older they get, the smarter they get, and that's pretty much what they are after. And they show you a few images of demons and whatnot, and you probably pick up on this a lot earlier than they actually show you that they're cattle, just by the number markings on their neck. Like, you're branded and numbered like cattle, so it's pretty obvious. But your main characters are Ray, Emma, Norman, and Mother / Isabel. And honestly, Ray reminds me of Sasuke, like the artwork of him. And Emma and Norman, those are your other two main characters pretty much. But those are your top 3 scorers right now. Basically, they are 11 years old. They have really perfect scores, so they're expected to make it until 12 years old and before they get adopted. But without going too much further into it, they find out that they're not really being adopted, and devise a plan to escape. And that's all I'm going to say on it right now. I think it's 10 out of 10. Should watch, should read. And it's so good. I'm reading the manga. And I don't read manga. That should tell you something. I haven't even read One Piece. Not a single issue.
I'm surprised about that.
What?
That you haven't read one issue of One Piece.
I mean... Alright. I'm going to be completely honest.
I'm gonna be. So you weren't being completely honest before? What?
With how far One Piece has gone and how far in I am, I would not dare open a manga for One Piece. It would take me probably the next year to catch up in manga on the One Piece, and that's just if I committed to the manga. Like, I can sit down and watch 100+ episodes of One Piece within, like, 2 to 3 week period. But for me to sit down and binge read manga, it would probably take me, like, the next year.
Oh, get out of here. I'm not putting my account information in.
I'm not even going to ask.
Bro, I'm about to buy... Well, I was attempting... while we're podcasting, I'm also internet shopping for this cruise that we just discussed earlier. And I was going to buy this Majin Buu dad hat, but...
Ooh, since you got to go pick up your Mac at Dad's house, you mind picking up my DS?
You ordered a DS?
No, I left my DS there.
Oh.
I was playing Pokemon and I left it there.
Oh. But it's this random site, Fashion Contraband or something, whatever. But it was a pretty cool dad hat. It's like just a pink dad hat with the Majin Buu symbol on it.
Okay.
And but they don't have like no pay through PayPal or whatever, and I'm not just putting my credit card information. That's dead.
No, that's understandable. Did you read anything that you wanted to discuss before we get into this Beirut breakdown?
Sure. So I did read, as I said earlier. I think I probably talked about. Did I talk about Black Panther and the Crew already?
Yeah, you mentioned it. I think last month when we did
the
revival.
I'm getting through that, and it's really slow pacing for me. I don't know why, but I guess because I'm reading the digital version. Like I bought the digital volumed version or whatever, and it's like only like 6 issues. I think I'm on like issue 4 of it. But it's really good. It's it's like I want to say 60s, like 60s era vibe of the civil rights movement type thing, and there's basically like a guy. He was like an underground civil activist, pretty much for the community, and something happens. And some like modern day type stuff, like so he gets arrested and he dies in jail, and nobody really knows what happened to him in jail. They just know he died, and there's this whole conspiracy theory, like apparently Hydra's got something to do with the gentrification of Harlem and Bronx and all that kind of stuff like that. So like they're buying all these old buildings and they're putting these restaurants and whatever. There goes my Dr. Evil air quotes again. Restaurants. They're putting in all these like fronts, these Hydra fronts or whatever, And so you get a team up of like a cool team up of heroes. I'm pretty sure, like you said, I said something about it before, which you end up with Luke Cage, Misty Knight, Storm, Black Panther, all teamed up together. And also I can't think of the other guy's name. Is it Liberty or something like that? He's like a Aborigine. He's from Australia or whatever, but he's a mutant. He's like I guess he's a native of Australia or whatever. But he's a mutant and he has the ability to like jump through space and time. So I guess he's like Blink or Cloak or whatever.
Cloak and Dagger.
Well, Cloak was the one that could do the traveling stuff.
Yeah, but I was about to say Nightcrawler.
Well, yeah, I guess Nightcrawler. Where he kind of goes through like another dimension, right?
Yeah,
he goes. Yeah,
Nightcrawler like blinks into Mephisto's realm and then back to ours.
Right, but he's gotta be careful about that because he can also blink himself into the middle of some stuff. But this guy like opens up a portal. Like he opens up a portal and he jumps through, and then another portal opens on the other side wherever he jumps out.
So kind of like Jumper, I think it was.
That movie, yeah. Kind of. Or like I said, Blink. I think most people recognize Blink as like the portal transportation mutant. So that's pretty dope. And I'm reading Aliens 3, which I think I mentioned before as well, as was on my list of reading. And that is based off of what was the potential screenplay for the third Alien movie that ended up getting scrapped, and we got that. What we got?
What do you mean?
The third Alien was by far the weakest link.
You mean like? I mean, I guess.
I mean, so far, what I read is it looks like it would have had real potential as a live action, but I mean, we ended up with what was it, Aliens or Alien Resurrection or whatever it was called. I think it was Alien Resurrection. It wasn't all that great.
I mean, at least it wasn't Prometheus.
I mean, Prometheus gets a lot of flack.
Prometheus gets a lot of flack because it never followed up on it. It was supposed to be a standalone, but it ended up tying into the Alien movie. But they never did anything with that following after.
They did. Prometheus, and then you had the last thing that just came.
Alien Covenant.
Alien Covenant kind of was like a direct link off of Prometheus.
I mean, it is, but well, it is. It's a direct link, but it's pissing me off because it's like, you know, why not just Prometheus and Alien Covenant is pissing me off because it's like poorly done. It's like nowhere near the original storyline, and if you're gonna call it a reboot, then you're kind of doing a crappy job of it, if it makes sense.
Yeah, I get you.
Like, if I was judging it as a standalone, it was great. If I'm judging it as like an Alien reboot, it's okay at best.
I think I'm just gonna go find me a pastel pink dad hat and take the lids and have them embroider that Majin.
I need a Vegeta tank top before we leave.
They got them out topic.
Like the Saiyan armor tank top.
Yeah, they got them out topic.
Yeah, but they got tank top sleeves. I want like the thick sleeves.
Well, then I don't know what to tell you.
I'm gonna have to order it. That's what I'm telling you.
That's not a tank top.
Technically, it's a sleeveless tee.
You want a sleeveless shirt.
Well, yeah, it's a sleeveless tee. But if any of our viewers want to be really nice to me,
stop begging.
Not begging.
So yeah, there's that, and I think that's pretty much it. Alien. I started Old Lady Harley, but I only got like a couple pages in Old Lady Harley, so not enough to talk about. And yeah. I'm back like 2 issues of Venom, and I got like a pile of other.
What number is Venom on?
12.
Okay, yeah, I'm 2 issues behind. That's fine. I'm probably gonna wait to read more of that.
I still gotta read issue 9 of Doomsday Clock, which I didn't realize. So I'm so bad on my comic books right now. Let me tell you, I'm so bad on my comic books right now that I went to go pull my box, and I looked at my numbers, versus my comicsology and stuff, and I was like, I'm missing some issues. And I was like, Paul, did I not get copies of whatever in the box? He's like, nah, I'm pretty sure you got it. He's like, you sure you didn't misplace or whatever? So I was like, I don't know. And I went to the house. I went to the house, and I completely found a bag that I had completely set to the side and forgot all about. And there was like 6 issues of stuff that I meant to read. Like there's like Ironheart in there, and it was my missing issues of Venom and Doomsday Clock, and my missing issues of Alien 3. I was like, oh, okay, never mind, Paul. I found it. You're right. You hooked me up.
My bad, guys. Apparently, my phone wanted me to burn it down. Speaking of which, who's ready for Sunday? Sunday.
Seth Rollins is gonna lose.
Don't say that.
Mark my Seth frickin' Rollins will lose.
I don't know, man.
He curb stomped him on Monday night, bro. 50-50 booking. He's losing.
How do you figure that's giving him 50-50?
Will lose.
So what, you think?
Plus, you gotta either give Becky or Kofi the title. They're not gonna give all 3 of them the title. Somebody's gotta take a L. You got 3 fan favorites going in there for the title. Somebody's gotta take a L. And I highly doubt it's gonna be Becky.
I don't know.
I mean, they might, but if they give Ronda the unified women's title, I quit WWE. I'm done.
Dude, I've quit WWE before. It feels nice sometimes. But I don't know. What I can foresee is if he does lose, they're gonna give Roman the title shot again, and he'll take it. That's what I foresee.
I would much rather see Roman versus Rollins than Roman versus Lesnar Part 27.
Well, that's why I also think that Rollins should win, is because he's not present. He's not a present champion, so. And aren't we tired of MMA fighters holding championships?
Vince is it?
Fuck Vince. Racist piece of shit.
Vince is the one who's doing it, so Vince is the money.
I legit think he's a little racist.
I mean, it was supposed to be built the way that it was supposed to be built. You talking about the Kofi storyline?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's supposed to be built the way that it was supposed to be built. So I hate they really had to focus it racially like that, but it's kind of hard. I guess at this point, it was kind of hard for them to build an underdog story within such a short period of time without making that like a play.
I mean, I get it, but with how today's society is, I don't think we should be like portraying anyone to be racist who isn't racist.
Bro, Vince had dudes out there kicking babies, bro. I don't even want to hear it. Vince don't care, dog.
Anywhoosies, side tangent.
Vince don't care, bro.
All right, so
that beef with Matt Hardy and Edge when he took Lita, that was real. That was Matt Hardy, Edge, and Lita's real life relationship, and they made them act that joint out on TV. Triple H taking Stephanie from Test, that shit was real, bro. Test and Stephanie was actually dating, and then Triple H swooped in like, I don't know, some sort of cerebral woman stealer, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, but they're actually married now.
That's not the point. Vince has a real life habit of making art imitate life, and he really doesn't care. Like, there's not very many boundaries for him. So,
yeah.
Especially if you can do it to a point where, like, oh, it's not gonna affect his ratings or whatever, and people watching. I mean, that's why also part of the reason why I think that Kofi is gonna win, because if Kofi loses, it does fall heavily on that racial card, and I don't think Vince wants to lose a large, significant a significant enough portion of his fan base based off of that.
Yeah, true. I was about to say something else, but
dopest thing ever though. You realize if Kofi wins though, he will become the first black Grand Slam champ.
Yeah, I know. I'm really rooting for that. But I don't know. I'm so tired of Brock Lesnar. And I don't know how many of our viewers are actually wrestling fans, but yeah, check it out this Sunday. If you don't have WWE, definitely check it out. It's free if you sign up for a trial.
But back to the comics.
Hint, hint. Do what I do.
Back to
have
the
multiple
comics.
emails.
Going with back and forth, back.
All right, back to those comics. So this week, and probably not just this week, but for him, he read this a while ago, and I just caught up and read it. All 5 issues that are currently out.
Now available for pre-order and trade paperback.
Wait, what?
You can pre-order the trade paperback now.
What do you mean?
So the first 5 issues is the end of that arc.
Oh, so it'll have like a.
So it's a collected edition.
Yeah.
You can just buy all 5 issues at one time in the trade paperback.
Oh, okay. So Bitterroot, and this is where our blurred comes into play a little here. I honestly had hesitations about reading it. I saw the artwork and I saw like the time period that they were portraying, and it kind of bothered me. And you probably haven't dealt with this as much as I have, but like growing up in a black neighborhood, being my color, I got picked on, and then going to a white school where I was black, and I felt out of place. So, I mean, I've never felt comfortable with like racial issues. So that's why I was really hesitant about reading this one. But they play on those racial issues and they take it a different way. And I'm honestly happy to say that it wasn't what I expected. I'm a little...
What were you expecting?
I was halfway expecting to come in and see KKK white people just hanging Negroes left and right, and Negroes firing off and popping off on killing white folks.
I mean, there was a KKK scene though.
There was, but what I would say is that it didn't seem like that was the vast majority of the storyline. And I'll be honest, like it was nonstop action from the time you open the first cover to the end of cover number 5. So
yeah, when I got pitched it, I was talking to Will Morin, and he told me about Juke Joint, which is another good one, and I'm really hoping that author, gets herself together. She's taking a break from it because she just couldn't handle the huge uprising fame. And she deals with depression and all kinds of stuff like that. So, prayers out to her that she gets herself together. But I put it on the Facebook group for ABX to get Paul to, order me a first issue and put it in my pull box. And somebody just randomly commented on it and was like, hey, if you like that, you'll probably like this. You should check this out. It's coming out soon. So I was like, all right, cool. So he posted the picture of it, and I was like, well, let me look into it. And basically what I read from the description, like the original description doesn't really let you know that it's going to have the racial overtone and undertones that it does. To me, it just seemed cool. It basically described as a Harlem Renaissance, basically supernatural hunter type family, but it was a black family. So I was like, well, hell, I rock with all this kind of supernatural stuff, so I'll give it a shot and see how it is. It completely threw me for a loop when I got into it, and I realized that they were using it as an allegory for racism in America, especially during that civil rights era time. And they also made so many references throughout like Black history in the book. Did you notice that they made reference to the Tulsa massacre? They made reference to Black Wall Street, and it was another big time thing. I can't remember what it was. When they even also went into depth about like how much different it was in like where you see one member of the family in Mississippi, was we was just talking about dealing with this KKK situation, while you got the other part of the family in New York dealing with this covert underground racism. So you got this outright up front, he literally pulls up on a group of Ku Klux Klan about to lynch a black guy. And then you got in Harlem, they're finding like the Genu hidden here and hidden there or whatever. And also, I thought what was really cool about it was the way they paralleled it. So you have two people of the same family in two different areas, and you also have two different outlooks on how this is an issue and how this issue should be handled.
Yep.
So you've got the family that's up home that still believes in the positive and there's good in everybody, and even though you can become a Genu, you can be saved, you can be healed and, you know, cleansed or whatever. And that's where they focus their power and their roots into. And then you've got the uncle down in Mississippi who's like, nah, these down here, you can't save them. I ain't saving nothing. He said, I don't purify, I amputate.
Right, yeah, those were his words. Which, you know, it
to me, that really set again, like I said, they're following undertones and allegory. To me, that right there, that set a Malcolm X and a Martin Luther tone right there with inside the book.
And I guess for me, I identify more with Malcolm X being the more radical type of person that I am. It's just like, you know, if it's not going to change, then, you know, you have to cut off the head. Eventually, you know, we'll get to a point, hopefully, in our world where, you know, racism isn't an issue. But until, you know, this is how I feel. Until it stops being taught to children, and until people stop being ignorant, and until the older generations die off, and let people accept, you know, people for who they are, it's still going to be an issue. And I mean, you might not see it, especially in our area, but I'm sure in other areas, racism is still taught to, you know, their children and so on and so forth. So it's just, I understand the parallels between cutting it off and trying to teach people right from wrong. And some people are just too stubborn to learn the rights and wrongs.
Yeah, and I also thought it was cool. Like, I wondered were they gonna give us a swing character, and they definitely came through with. I'm just gonna call him Jebediah because I can't remember his name.
The nephew, the younger one.
No. The white guy.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember his name either.
Yeah, I'm just gonna call him Jebediah. He looked like old brother. Where art thou? Extra. But I was wondering where they're gonna come through with a swing character, and they did not disappoint. Especially the way that they placed him, you know, and it was one of those ways to show like clearly how that some people are entrapped and pressured into situations where they don't really want to be, and that's not who they truly are, but they're there because that's the hot thing, or, you know, everybody's gonna look at me differently if I, you know, and people don't always stand up, and sometimes it takes the hard thing coming for them to stand up. So like, he's out there at the lynching just like all the rest of these guys and all this white KKK stuff, and everybody turns into monsters except for him. And the reason why is because he doesn't really have that racism in him. He was only there because if he didn't go, what is that? If he didn't go, they were gonna beat him up, or everybody else was doing it, or
yeah, peer pressure, bro.
Yeah, so something.
Smoke this joint.
And he was like, but if that's what these are, like, seeing the creatures freaked him out, and that's what made him change sides. Like, well, I didn't really think like that anyway. And if these are monsters, I know where you can find more. And so he takes them straight to the headquarters where there's the main like actual demon. I also thought it was cool how they, made sure they acknowledged that it's not just a one-sided issue, that kind of hatred, and that it can be deep-rooted because of the things that other people go through. Where you had those, I don't want to spoil too much, but you had those two characters, and they went through their situations, and it caused changes within them. I don't know. Could you tell that's what was going on early on?
Huh?
Could you tell that's what was going on early on?
Yeah.
Like early on when I was reading it, me and Adrian would read it at the same time. So I'd read an issue and then I'd hand it over to him and he'd read it and we'd discuss it. And I told him like after like issue 2, I told him I was like wait later now. I was like they're gonna reveal that this is who this is and that's who that is. He's like nah man, there's no way. That's and then later that's how it came about. But like I thought that was really interesting how they did that because it was them saying, okay, this is something that we've never seen before,
Yeah.
Because that causes a completely different kind of hate. And how do you really combat that kind of thing? It's like a righteous anger. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no. Hatred just breeds more hatred. And I like what they did with that. And it was more so one of those things where it gave me the look of, you can be racist on both sides. You can have hatred on both sides. You can be white and still accept that, everybody's peace, love, and rock and roll. And you can be black and be peace, love, and what was Bob Marley's thing?
What? One love?
Yeah, peace, one love, and all of that. But, I mean, when it comes down to it, it's like, it's person to person. Like, you have to decide for yourself whether or not you're going to let that hatred bother you, whether or not you're going to pack it up and keep moving, whether or not you're going to let that affect you and decide what kind of character you are.
Yeah. Other thing I want to point out about the book is that it's not just a graphic novel. I think it's funny because when I was reading, I was like, bro, you guys look at the articles in the back. And it made me think about like how people always make the joke about you see the person with the Playboy. And it's like, oh, no, I'm reading Playboy for the articles. Right? But so this is like not just your average graphic novel. Normally at the end of comic books, there's like a ask section and a to the author or whatever, section where people write in and they answer this, that, and the third. They answer all these questions. But they take a different route, and each book at the end of it has these articles about black history or black business, just the socioeconomic status, the dealing with the mental status of being in today's society. The article in particular about ethnogothic was amazing. So they're not only entertaining you, they're also feeding your mind at the end of the book. Any blurs out there listening, if you're into that kind of cultural statement thing, and I know a lot of people are probably going to also write this off as, oh, I'm so sick of SJW. If that's how you feel about it, then this ain't for you, and you keep your clothesline where you're at. Social justice warrior. But if that's how you feel about it, then you keep your mind where it's at. But I highly recommend any black comic book fan, honestly any comic book fan in general, to give this a read. David F. Walker and Sanford Greene put in amazing work on this. I'm highly disappointed right now that I have to wait until fall for the next issue. My feelings are hurt. I've been feeling like a junkie for the 20th of every month, so I can run to the store and go get it. And then, I read issue 5 right after seeing Us, and, my mind was completely in shambles just all together. So
I actually gotta watch that. Honestly, I agree with you. I think it's a good read for anybody, and whether you like the idea of a social movement, whether or not you like the idea of looking back at racism, whatever you're into, I think it's still a good read if you put all issues aside. It definitely gives you aspects of supernatural. If you even if you remove all the racial undertones, you would still have a good comic book, in my opinion, hands down. And maybe that's just because I love supernatural things. Maybe that's just because, I think it's badass that you have two opposite ends of the spectrum where, like, oh, it's the Sam and duo complex. Sam and Dean.
Oh, Sam always wants to save and Dean just wants to hunt.
Right. And that, you can say what you want, but that kind of complex, that kind of idea is always going to be prevalent. That's always going to be a big hooker for, a storyline. And it's easy to write something like that very well. And if, like I said, you read it online, find somebody that has it, read it. If you don't want to buy it, you don't want to support it, I don't care. That's between you and your wallet, but I suggest reading it. It gets your mind thinking.
Definitely get your mind thinking. And like I said, at this point, it's really easy to do it. So it's not like you have to wait monthly for anything, any issues. It's all 5 are released. You can get them on Comixology right now. One thing I will say that I did notice is that the prices on these did drop significantly pretty quickly. So I think they're like $1.99 a piece right now on Comixology instead of $2.99. So definitely get that. It's produced by Image. The artwork, I love the artwork, and I love how like there seems to be like a color scheme with the settings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So all that is pretty cool, and the cliffhanger, like I said, I gotta wait until fall, and I'm not thrilled about waiting until fall. Piss off.
And speaking of artwork, I just want to touch on this. I'm really hard satisfied with artwork, and I'm gonna give this one a 7 out of 10 for artwork.
I mean, I am waiting on the next David F. Walker joint. I hope kickstart the joint that he's trying to do. Should be, actually, I think they should be sending out this week. It's called One Fall.
Okay.
And it looks interesting. Again, kind of supernatural thing. It's like, I don't know, the cover is like a werewolf wrestler on the front of it. So I was like,
ooh, I saw that one. I saw that one.
I was like, I don't know what's going on here, but
I saw that one and thought I might read that.
Well, I kickstarted. I was like, oh, I'll kickstart it, and he the package I got, I'll get another copy of Bitterroot #1 signed by Sanford Greene and David F. Walker. So
you want to throw that out for a giveaway?
That was the $30 alone. What? No, that's mine.
You have 2 copies that are signed.
I have 1 copy that is signed by Sanford Greene alone. And then this will be a copy that's signed by both of them.
So you want to put up the one that's signed alone?
No, because that one's graded. That one's being graded right now.
Black. All right, never mind. Sorry, guys. I tried.
Man, it was a Comic-Con exclusive. Maybe I'll think about putting my first print up. Because the signed one is going to be a second print.
Sorry, guys. I tried. Regardless of that, I do want to do a giveaway. Probably not this month, maybe next month. We'll do 4 more podcasts and then a giveaway. How about that? Give me a thumbs up on this podcast if you made it this far. Really quickly, before we hit that hour mark, I just want to say that this is something that we want to do. We enjoy doing this. I know I do. I enjoy being able to sit down with my brother like once a week and actually talk about comic books. Because growing up as a kid reading comic books and growing up, being into all of this, I never thought, there would be an avenue for things like this. But now it's here. And I get to sit down and talk to my brother about crap like I actually enjoy. And even if we don't make a big YouTube following or anything like that, it's just something for us to do and something for us to enjoy.
We hope you enjoy as well. So follow us on Facebook at Nerds Day Out. That's the Facebook group. Feel free to join in, write on the wall, put some comic book suggestions, whatever. Get some discussions going. Also follow us on Twitter at NDO4Life. You can also follow me on Twitter at DBIC Dreaming. If you don't know how to spell DBIC, Google it. It's just like the $1 Million Man.
I'll drop the links down in the description. You can follow me on Twitter. I'm not that active, but Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, all of those are very good avenues to reach us. And I can drop all of those links if you want, like weekly. Just drop those links with everything else. Really quickly, one other thing I want to start doing myself personally, and I don't know if I can talk him into doing it, is just to take like one random number one and read it a week. What do you think about that?
A random number one?
Yeah.
We might be able to do something like that.
You don't have to. Well, you don't have to buy it.
We might be able to do something like that.
All
right. A
right.
lot of number ones lately.
I mean, just one random one, because it doesn't even have to be current. It doesn't have to be recent. Well, I prefer it to be recent, but just one random number one we can talk about per week. Maybe somebody give us a suggestion of an upcoming number one or whatever. Make sure we get those out there and read and connect with our audience. But I think that's gonna wrap it up. It's been a minute since we talked to you guys, and we wanted to get one out there. Especially since we finally upgraded, got 2 mics. We're no longer 2 guys, 1 mic.
Boo.
No, still not getting there.
No.
I'm still using that title for one of these videos somewhere down the line. I'm pulling the trigger. Just wait. All right, but that's gonna be it for us. Peace out and stay nerdy, folks.